Hello friends, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Heartgold. We are still here in Cherry Grove City. I did do one or two extra battles to train up Chikorita a bit. Didn't get very far. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the Pokemart. Welcome, what do you need? I'd like to buy something. So this guy has potions, antidotes, and paralyze heals. Let's buy 2 antidotes. Just in case we get poisoned. Poison can be pretty annoying at this stage in the game. If your Pokemon gets poisoned, it takes a little bit of damage each turn, and also a little bit of damage every few steps you take outside of battle. I don't think it can faint in this version. At some point they took away a Pokemon's ability to faint via outside world poison damage. Once you get down to like 1 HP, it'll wear off. You're trying to see how good you are as a Pokemon trainer? You better visit the Pokemon gyms all over Johto and collect badges. I just may do that. I like how the game has like a main plot, which is of course fighting all the gyms, but also some subplots like seeing Mr. Pokemon. Alright, we talked to him already. I was thinking there might be a fisherman in town. Maybe not. Pokemon gain experience in battle and change their form, also known as evolving. I heard each Pokemon has its own nature, and it has something to do with Pokemon stats. Yep, we already talked about that. There's also, I think, a trainer school a little later on. Alright, well, that's it for Cherry Grove. I made it! I forgot about one thing! This is another token from me. Take it! We got the map card. Okay, so it's kind of like the town map, but it's on my Pokegear. Pokegear becomes more useful as you add cards. I wish you luck on your journey. That guy is certainly very helpful. Glad he lives near me. So we have time, and actually that's an hour later than it actually is. I haven't updated it for daylight savings time. We have 2 phone numbers and a map. Alright, so there's New Barktown where we started. This is Cherry Grove. This is the other route I talked about before. So we'll kind of be making our way up here, and then to Violet City, around south here, Azalea Town, Goldenrod, and then to this side, and then back to this side, and that's basically the gist of it. But first things first, Route 30. Johto also shares its route numbers with Kanto. So, for example, there's a Route 1, Route 2, etc. in Kanto. Therefore, there is no Route 1 or 2 in Johto. Alright, Spinarak. That's a spider that tends to come out more at night. It is bug and poison type, so grass attacks will not be very effective. Fortunately, we have a normal type attack. Poison Sting has a chance of poisoning me. I am glad it did not. And I did encounter a Hoot while I was training. So it is nighttime, and therefore they are out and about. Alright, we have another potion. And I think it might be time for our first Pokemon battle. Nothing down there. Alright, let's do it. Or not. Yeah, so he's just telling us that when we run, we are more likely to attract wild Pokemon. Alright, so we definitely need to find something to put in these apricorn trees in order to get apricorns. People usually come to my house looking for Mr. Pokemon's house. You did mean to visit my house, right? How kind of you. Do you have any apricorns? Apricorn trees bear fruit once a day. I have one of those trees too. Apricorns are really something. You can make Pokeballs and other things. They are quite useful. I have a feeling this is meant to be. I'm so happy that I'll give you this. That's what we need, an apricorn box. And now we can carry apricorns. Yay, okay. And a little later on, like he said, we'll be able to make those into very special Pokeballs. Another cool addition to the game. I'm not sure what he means by other things. I guess there's other things you can turn apricorns into? That I don't remember. And that's probably new to Heartgold and Soul Silver. I have played these games before, but not as often as I did Gold and Silver, way back in the day. Another Spinarak. Once again, it's level 2, so we'll just go ahead and fight it. And a critical hit. Those are always very nice. Well, they're very nice when you get them. Less nice when your opponent does. But luck is luck. Ugh, really? Another one? I guess I was running. There's a Hoot Hoot. So it makes them more likely to attack me. But I'm not sure if it's better to walk then. Like, is it more frequent encounters because you're taking steps faster, or is it each step is more likely to trigger a Pokemon if you're running? Alright, my attack is a little lower, but hopefully still high enough to finish him off. Or her off, I guess. It's a female Hoot Hoot. Also, genders are new to this game. Or we're new to the Generation 2 games. And I learned Poison Powder, which, as the name would suggest, poisons my opponent as long as it doesn't miss. Antidote might come in handy. This guy trainer? Nope. Just giving us more useful advice. Those guys are trainers. I don't think we can fight them yet. I think they're busy fighting each other. Looks like a Pidgey and the back of a Rattata. Go, Rattata, tackle! What? This is a big battle. Leave me alone. Yes, it looks very important. It's always interesting to see all the reasons they come up with to block a route when the player's not supposed to go there quite yet. In this case, we're supposed to go this way, which leads to Mr. Pokemon's house. And many other Pokemon along the way. So against Rattata, we can use our Razor Leaf because it is evenly effective. And as long as that's the case, it is our best move. There we go. One hit KO. I do want to get Cherry to a decent level because the first gym is a flying type gym, and flying is strong against grass, so it's definitely going to be a tough battle. There's also an area in the game coming up somewhat soon where we'll be facing a lot of grass types, and grass is not good against grass, so that'll be tough as well if we're not leveled up. You must be Joe! It was I who sent an email to Professor Elm earlier. This is what I want Professor Elm to examine. A mystery egg. A friend of mine from Akrotique gave it to me. I bet you can't find this kind of egg in Johto. I thought Professor Elm might be able to tell what it is. He's the best when it comes to the research of Pokemon evolution. That's a quote from the famous Professor Oak. You are returning to Professor Elm. Here, your Pokemon should have some rest. Speaking of Professor Oak. And with that, I'm Professor Oak, a Pokemon researcher. So you're Joe. I was just visiting my friend Mr. Pokemon. I heard you were running an errand for Professor Elm, so I waited here. Oh, what's this? A rare Pokemon. I see. You must be helping Professor Elm's research. I think I understand why Professor Elm gave you that Pokemon. You will treat your Pokemon with love and care, it seems. Ah, you seem to be dependable. How would you like to help me out? See, this is the latest version of the Pokedex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. I'd like you to have it. Alright, there we go. Go meet many kinds of Pokemon and complete that Pokedex. But I've stayed too long. I have to get to Goldenrod for my usual radio show. Joe, I have a feeling that this is not the last time we'll meet. Let's exchange numbers just to be on the safe side. Alright. We now have our third number from Professor Oak. I'd forgotten that he does a radio show here. And I think we can actually listen to the radio on our Pokegear. Or maybe we can only do that once we get our radio card. What's this? Oh, you can change the appearance. That's pretty cool. Let's try the black appearance for a bit. Ooh, that's kind of intense. Maybe we get the radio app once we go to the radio tower, but it's really cool once you do. Also a new addition to the game, and not something you really see in many games. Sorry to trouble you. Please make sure you hand the egg to Professor Elm. Will do. What's his computer say? Nothing. Alright. And I think at this... Whoop, we have a phone call. Hello, Joe? It's a disaster. It's just terrible. What should I do? Oh no. Please get back here now. Alright, Professor Elm is in trouble. You'll forgive me if I use different voices for different characters, but I forget what voice I was using the last time I spoke as Professor Elm. And those guys are still battling, so we can't go anywhere yet. But it should be a little bit easier going south. How's our Chikorita doing? Level 9. Wouldn't mind being one more level just to be safe. Is it close to level 10 or not really? Not really. Alright. Level 9 it is then. And the reason I'm a little concerned is because there is a big battle coming up. And I'd rather not lose. You got a Pokemon at the lab? What a waste. That's a Pokemon that's too good for a wimp like you. Don't you get what I'm saying? Well, I too have a good Pokemon. I'll show you what I mean. And it's our first battle against our rival, who we haven't named yet. I like his music. Passerby boy. And he has Cyndaquil. Okay, good, only level 5. This shouldn't be too tough then. Unlike the last game where you face your rival right away and you both have level 5 Pokemon, you don't face your rival right away in this game, so you have a chance to level up first. This is interesting. Let's go for a Growl. Cyndaquil probably doesn't know any Fire-type moves yet. Leer. Okay, so that pretty much cancels out, because I lowered his attack, but he lowered my defense. I'm gonna Growl again in that case. And there's the tackle. Critical hit, so it did a pretty decent amount of damage despite the stat drops. And we will now return our own tackle. Very nice, got our own crit too. You're doing okay for someone weak, says the guy 4 levels below me. We also have potions, but I'm going to try not to use items in this game unless it really comes down to it. Basically, if I use an item, if I have to use an item in a battle, I'm going to consider that battle in my mind a loss, because my goal is to win these battles without having to resort to items. You kind of have to put your own limitations on this game in order to make it an interesting challenge. Do you want to know who I am? I'm going to be the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. Yes, that's so. You'll have to beat me first. Give it back! That's my trainer card! Oh no, you saw my name! I guess that's how you know to name him. Makes sense. Alright. Well, we will have to go tell Professor Elm the name of the guy who stole one of his Pokemon, as you probably have guessed by now. And we can hop over the ledges and avoid battles, as long as we're going from left to right. And here we are, home sweet home. No wonder he was looking through the window earlier. Who are you? We are investigating the case of the missing Pokemon here. Rule number 1, whoever did it will come back to the site. Oh my, so you must be the one who did it. Hold on a second, he has nothing to do with it. I saw it. There was a red-haired boy looking into the building. What? You battled a boy like that? He must be the one who did it. Did you happen to get his name? In fact, I did. Alright, so in our last game I named my rival as basically the name of my next player character. So I guess I'll do the same thing here. And we'll just keep up that pattern. Since I am Joe. And the next region will be the Hoenn region. Let's go ahead and name him. Owen for the Hoenn region. Not spelled the same way, but again, spelling it more like a real name would be. I see, so Owen was his name. Thanks for helping my investigation. My next assignment is to search for this red-haired individual. Joe, I'm glad they understand you are innocent. See you later. Joe, this is terrible. Oh yes, what was Mr. Pokemon's big discovery? Here it is. Huh? This is an egg, isn't it? This egg may still be something, maybe something I've never seen. Still, it's just an egg. Mr. Pokemon is always fascinated by eggs. Well, since he gave it to us, we might as well find out what secret it holds. I'll keep it for a while to find out about the egg. What? Professor Oak gave you a Pokedex? Joe, is that true? That's incredible. He is superb at seeing the potential of people as trainers. Wow, Joe, I knew you were a little different. Things are going to be fun. Your Pokemon seem to really like you, so why don't you take the Pokemon Gym Challenge? If you manage to defeat all the gym leaders, you'll eventually challenge the Pokemon League champion. Or not. Becoming the champion is not at all easy, but you can certainly challenge Violet City's gym. Joe, challenging the gym scattered around will be a long journey. Before you leave, make sure you talk to your mom. Alright, I will certainly do that. Looks like Professor Elm only has one Pokemon left. Sometimes the games have like a more fierce rival and then a more friendly rival who's usually a little weaker. It looks like Lyra is kind of the more friendly rival, but she already has her Meryl, so she won't have that starter Pokemon. A lot of times the friendlier one gets the one that's weak to yours. Not even sure if we really get to face Lyra. I hope we do, but Lyra didn't exist in the original Gold and Silver, so not really sure. I also really like how they make the rivals in the earlier games really adversarial. Like the first one's a jerk, this guy's actually a criminal. That really gave some more drama to the games, whereas in the later games they're all just everybody's best friends and everybody's super friendly and it's all in good spirits, and I mean that's nice and all, but doesn't make for as fun of a game in my opinion. So you're leaving on an adventure. Okay, I'll help too, but what can I do for you? I know! Every time you receive prize money, I'll save some of it for you. On a long journey, money's important. Do you want me to save your money for you? So this could be good or bad. It's always good to save money, but it doesn't really grow or anything. And actually, I think your mom buys stuff with your money if you leave it with her. At least in some games she does. Sometimes it's cool stuff, sometimes it's not really cool stuff. It's like decorations for... That's more in the third generation, I think. I don't think there's really decorations in this one. But I'm going to say no, because there is something later on I do want to have a lot of money for. A few things, in fact. And I want to make sure I have as much money on me as possible. And I might not be home for a while, so thank you for offering, Mom, but it is time for your son to head out on his grand adventure. There's also a water route to the right here, as you can see. And once we learn to surf on the water, we'll be heading over there, but that won't be for quite a while yet. Oh, look who it is. There you are! Joe, you can catch wild Pokemon with Pokeballs. Follow me. Oh, that's right. I think she shows you how to catch Pokemon. Just like that. Huh? Was I too fast? I'll try again. Come this way. Just like the old man teaches us in the first generation, she will teach us here. I'm not sure who teaches you in the second generation original games, if anybody. Alright, so she's going to start by weakening the Rattata. Didn't do too much damage. I guess Meryl's not that powerful. So usually I would get it weaker than that. But I guess the game is programmed to do it this way so that she can't get an accidental crit. 20 Pokeballs. She's been stocking up. But it's not always about the quantity of Pokemon you capture. I mean, I guess it is if you're trying to complete the Pokedex, but that's not going to be our main goal. Our main goal is beating the game and assembling a strong team of good Pokemon. And in that case, we really don't need a Rattata. See, just like that. It's better to locate your target's HP more than I did, or make it sleep or something. You can try all kinds of things to see what works. I'll give you these. Good luck. If Pokemon is paralyzed, or... I think if it's paralyzed you get a small boost, and if it's frozen or asleep you get a big boost. Something like that. Sleep is definitely the best thing to do, because there's no guaranteed freezing. Alright, well, since we have some Pokeballs, we can go ahead and catch a Pokemon, I guess. Or do I want to wait? I don't think there's really a reason to have a Rattata. Sometimes it's good to get other Pokemon in your party just so they can learn moves that can be used, like cutting the trees, but those Pokemon that know those moves or can learn those moves are often known as HM mules because they just learn a lot of HM moves. HMs are devices that teach Pokemon special moves like that. But Rattata is not a great one. Alright, let's go ahead and catch a Hoot Hoot. Because eventually we'll want to learn the move Fly. And Hoot Hoot can learn Fly. Alright, that should be pretty good. We could do some more damage to it, now that our attack is lower. But it should be low enough to capture. Pokeballs. Alright. Wish me luck. Unlike Pokemon Go, it just throws the ball for you. You don't have to aim it or anything. And while the Pokemon can't run away, it does have a chance to break out of the Pokeball, as you saw. In fact, there's only one ball that a Pokemon can't break out of, and that's the Master Ball, which will get a very long time from now. And we certainly will not use it on a Hoot Hoot. This guy is definitely very feisty. Come on. There we go. We've caught our first Pokemon. It always stands on one foot. It changes feet so fast the movement can rarely be seen. Good to know. Always some interesting facts in the Pokedex. We will not be giving a nickname to our Hoot Hoot because he will not be a permanent part of our fighting team. And there's another one. I'm going to go ahead and run away from him. It doesn't look like we can get repels yet. Repels are items that you can use to keep wild Pokemon at bay. You still have to face trainers. You can't repel trainers. But you can repel wild Pokemon. And another one. Alright, now that we're level 9, let's see if a tackle can one-shot it. Not quite. Good to know. Another benefit to catching another Pokemon, and I'd recommend doing so even if you only plan on using one for a little while, like I do, is that if you get your one Pokemon to be too high of a level, and then try to capture one, all your moves might one-hit KO it, in which case it's really hard to capture it. Another one. Now we will, of course, make a full team of 6 diverse Pokemon. 6 is my favorite Pokemon in this generation. Found another Apricorn here. But it was going to be a little bit until we get our first one, or our second one if you include Cherry here. Alright, so let's heal up, and then we will start heading towards Violet City. I also really like how Professor Oak is really involved in this game. Meeting him already, getting the Pokedex from him, going on the radio show. It's another way that really underlines how close Johto and Kanto are, that he just comes over here and visits Professor Elm. Usually in the later games, each region has their own professor, like Professor Elm, but he or she really does all of the professorial things. It's also cool how each professor has their own specialty. Like Professor Oak specializes in, wow, I don't even know this. I want to say evolution. Professor Elm might specialize in like breeding or eggs. I have to look it up, but I know they do have specialties. Alright, we are very close to level 10, and we should hit level 10 as soon as we battle a trainer. I'm still holding down the B button just out of habit. You know, I wonder if maybe I should turn off the running shoes and use them only when I'm not in grass. We already talked to that guy, but we haven't fought him. When a trainer sees you when you're right into their line of sight, it's time for a battle. I just lost, so I'm trying to find more Pokemon. Wait, you look weak? Come on, let's battle. Alright, so this is probably the guy with the Rattata, or Rattata, however you say it. Level 4 shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Not for me and my Chikorita. Or my Chikorita and die. Sounds like a really bad Pokemon play. Alright, Rattata is defeated, and we have grown to level 10. Nicely done, Cherry. Oh, I'm out of Pokemon that can fight. Wonder if that implies that he has Pokemon that can't fight. Sure. A lot of trainers, when you beat them, you have the option to exchange phone numbers, and as you battle them again, their Pokemon will get stronger. So it'll be interesting to see what he gets. You're a Pokemon trainer, right? Something about a battle. Another youngster, Youngster Mikey. Youngsters are one of the easiest trainer classes in the game. They're all pretty new to Pokemon battling. Kind of surprised that this guy beat the other youngster if he only has a level 2 Pidgey. But I guess having 2 level 2 Pokemon might be better than having 1 level 4. I would have liked to see that battle. And he has a Rattata of his own. Okay, so he had a level 2 Pidgey and a level 4 Rattata. In that case, yeah, I can definitely see why he won. And that explains why the other youngster is trying to capture more Pokemon, just like the guy who beat him. Kind of a nice little subplot there. I also really like in these games how the trainers have different levels of Pokemon. They're not all at the same level. A lot of the later games, if they have 4 Pokemon, all 4 Pokemon will be at the exact same level, which is kind of boring in my opinion. Alright, she's not a trainer. I was wondering, because I don't know what trainer class has that overworld sprite. This guy must be a bug catcher. Instead of a bug Pokemon, I found a trainer! Yes, you did. Please don't try to catch me with a net. Bug catcher Dawn. He has a Caterpie. Now, I'm really embarrassed to say this, but I don't remember if grass type is even or not very effective against bug types. I think it's not very effective, but it's hard to know because a lot of bug types are bug and poison, and I know grass is not very effective against poison types. Let's try it. I'm like 80% sure that it's not very effective, but I just want to confirm. I used to know the type charts like the back of my hand, but there's always some weird ones that you just don't remember, like bug types and fighting types and poison types that you tend not to use quite as often. Alright, so it is not very effective. Still did a lot of damage because it's only level 3 Caterpie. Caterpie is pretty weak. It's a cool Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but not the strongest out there. One thing that's nice about bug types, especially ones you catch early on in the game, is that while they're not very powerful, they do evolve very fast. Caterpie, for example, evolves into Metapod at level 7 and then into Butterfree at level 10. And Butterfree, for this stage in the game, is a very powerful Pokemon. You could use it from level like 10 to 30, and it would be very, very strong. The downside is that after level 30 or so, once other Pokemon start evolving, Butterfree really isn't that great, so it's not really a good long-term investment. And that's why I don't like training... I don't want to say bug types, because I do like training certain bug types, as you'll see, but not a Caterpie. And there's a little shortcut here if we had cut, but we don't. So we will press onward this way. I think there's actually a cave coming up. You probably can't go too far into it. It might even be one of those caves where you need Flash. Spinarak. Since we are not good against Spinarak, we will run away. And I promise I will buy repels as soon as I am able. This guy's not a trainer either. Dark Cave. If a Pokemon could light it up, I'd explore it. Alright, we'll take a little peek inside. But I'm not going to go too far because we don't have Flash. I'm pretty sure this is the cave where you find Dunsparce. Kind of a cool level... cool Generation 2 Pokemon, I should say. Yeah, as you can see here, we can barely see in front of us. Dunsparce isn't very good for battling, so I'm not going to capture one. You can also get Geodude. Now, Geodude is interesting. If you're like me, and you start off with a Grass type, Geodude will be a very good investment. And Geodude is actually a pretty good Pokemon. He will evolve into Graveler, who's fairly strong, and Graveler evolves into Golem, who's a very good rock type. Golem does have a lot of weaknesses, and he is pretty slow, so he's not really the type of Pokemon I like to train, but you could certainly do good with one as long as you're careful of who you put him up against. But the reason it'd be good to have a Geodude this early on is because, like I said, the first gym is Flying type, and Geodude being a rock type will be very good against the flying type gym. This is also a pretty good place to train up Chikorita, so I might try to do that a little bit off screen, since Chikorita is very super effective against Geodude. Geodude is rock and ground type, and both of those types are weak to grass attacks, which means I do 4 times as much damage. And because of stab, that's really 6 times as much damage. Another Geodude. As long as it's one hit knockout, I'll go ahead and go for it. Alright. I feel like eventually I'm going to hit like a barrier. There's some water I can't go over. Alright, we're getting in pretty deep. Let's make our way back towards the entrance. I was kind of hoping to find a Dunsparce, just to show you what they look like. It does not seem like that's going to happen. And if I'm not mistaken... Oh, I think I need Rock Smash to go further, or Surf. And I have neither. Alright, here's the exit though. So yeah, Dunsparce can learn Glare, which is a pretty good move. I think it's completely accurate, and it paralyzes the other Pokemon. Same as Thunder Wave, except Thunder Wave doesn't work on ground Pokemon because it's an electric type attack. Glare is normal type, so it does. Alright, let's go ahead and end this episode here since we have once again hit the half-hour mark. When we come back, I'm going to face... I don't think the guy in the pink shirt is a trainer, but we'll see. The guy in the straw hat down there definitely is. So we'll face a few more trainers, make our way to Violet City, and pretty soon be facing our first gym. Should be pretty exciting. Make sure you guys stay tuned.